Good morning, everyone, and welcome to what should have been our first ever live event. Unfortunately, as I said in the small video earlier on, we've had some technical difficulties in sharing different platforms of Zoom. So we're going to move on from that and continue with the event. We do have some special guests with us, so we didn't want to not for the event not to go ahead. But we're really excited to be with you today, and we do hope that you're all staying safe and managing your way through the pandemic, which, can you believe, has been almost a year now for us. And with the vaccination programme well underway, there is light, hopefully, at the end of the tunnel for all of us. And we know that some of you haven't been able to visit, the showroom for quite a while, or even visit, friends or relatives. And we are starting to receive quite a few phone calls from Motability customers asking for advice. So we wanted to find a way of connecting with you safely, but also to inform you about the Motability programme, how it works, and how we can help you if you need us to. And that's really our goal for today. So please do feel free to ask questions and put them in the comments box. We'll do our best to answer them as we go through the event. I'm sure we'll cover most of them off, but we will go back through the social media platform and do our best to answer any questions that were not answered during the event. And we will either contact you direct or share the answers on the social media platform, or we'll direct message you if it's a bit more private. But do feel free to comment or contact the dealership if we don't cover off your questions. What we won't be going through today, though, is we won't be covering off what vehicles are available on the Motability scheme currently. We think this is better to be done on an individual basis, depending on what your needs and wants are, because everybody does have a slightly set of needs and wants in their own particular vehicles. And you can also view that information on our website, which is www.ringways.co.uk, or you can ring the dealership and we'll help you. So please do like and share the event once you've seen it. It might be of interest to your friends, family, and your carers. And we were hoping that we wouldn't experience any technical difficulties, but hey ho, we have done. So let's move along. If we're all settled now, and I think us three are after a fraught start, and you've got a cup of tea and a biscuit, then we'll start the questions and answers. And we'll do the formal introductions just before we do that. So first of all, my name is Claire. I work for Ringways Motor Group, and I am definitely not a Motability expert. I work behind the scenes in a support role for the business. However, we do have the absolute pleasure of having two very special guests with us this morning, and I'll introduce those to you now. Our first guest is not just an expert on the Motability scheme, but an official Motability Ambassador, and he's a lovely gentleman called Chris Edwards. So good morning, Chris, and how are you?
Good morning, Claire. I'm very well, thank you, and I feel very lucky to be here, so thank you for having me.
Good. Well, good morning to you too. I'll come back to you in a second, Chris, but we also have our very own Ringways Motor Group Motability expert with us this morning. That is Scott. Scott, good morning to you.
Good morning, Claire. Nice to be here and contributing.
Good. Well, thanks for being with us, Scott. And, apologies, as I said, for those technical issues this morning. Chris, let me come to you first. Can you just talk us through a little bit about your Motability journey, your history and your heritage, and what you intend, what your own personal goals are for this morning's event?
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. Thank you ever so much, Claire. So my name is Chris Edwards, and I work directly for Motability Operations. I've actually been a customer of Motability for almost 33 years now, and I've worked for Motability Operations for the last 16. I've done various roles within the organisation, but currently I'm what is known as a dealer events executive or a Motability Ambassador, which means I travel normally all over the country, talking to customers face to face and letting them find out about how the scheme works, what we can do to get them mobile and the vehicles that are out there. So in the current situation, you're joining me from the wonders of my bedroom in my house, where I'm sure, like a lot of you that are watching today, I'm in a situation that I'm shielding. So it feels like I haven't left the house for almost a year, but I'm still trying to reach out to as many customers as possible. And I feel really lucky today that we are starting this digital journey to reach our customers, and the guys at Ringways are taking that step with me today. So I hope this will be one of many that we will do, hopefully, even with the technical issues that we've had. But we rise above it, do we not? We rise above it and we move forward. So thank you for my time today anyway.
All right, thanks, Chris, and welcome. Scott, now let's move on to you. Obviously, Scott, we do know each other, and you've got a wealth of experience in the Motability sector.
Indeed.
And you're very well known and much loved by your Motability customers. That's quite clear when we see you interacting with them in the showroom. Scott, can you just introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background about your Motability journey over the last few years?
Thank you, Claire. Yes, my name's Scott Lees. I've actually been a Motability specialist for coming up on 20 years, and most of my experiences with Ford, but I have worked for other manufacturers, and I've been with Ringways Ford now for 5 years. I do mainly Ford mobility. I also oversee the Kia side of Motability as well. It's nice to be able to be involved in a live event and impart some of this information to our many customers and friends out there.
Not quite live, but hey ho.
Well, we tried.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, thank you, Scott, and a warm welcome to you, and thanks for your time this morning as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have an informal Q&A session, question and answer. It should take us about 20 minutes. Does that sound like a good way to go, Chris and Scott?
Yes,
definitely.
yes, I think
No
so.
problem.
Great stuff. Well, I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. So my first question is for you, Chris. It is really, can you just talk us through what is the Motability Scheme? Can you explain that to our audience today for us in fairly straightforward layman's terms?
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. So the Motability Scheme is a car and wheelchair leasing scheme where they can use their mobility allowance to help fund that vehicle to get them access to it with a lot of additional support. But in a nutshell, you are leasing a car from us with a fantastic package of support, which is unique. There is nowhere else in the world that provides this service. It is unique to the UK, and it is a fantastic opportunity.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So that's a little bit of information about the Motability Scheme. How do I qualify?
So as I said, it's about our customers using their mobility allowance to join the scheme. Now, currently there may be a mixture of allowances that customers are using because some are going through a transition between one allowance to another. So some may be on what's called disability living allowance, and they need to be in receipt of the higher rate of that. And some may be also on what's called personal independence payment, or PIP for short, PIP, and that is what the disability living allowance, a lot of people are transitioning over to PIP now because that is the replacement, and you need to be on the enhanced level of that, and that allowance, you can use that portion towards leasing a car with us. So that is the two sort of main allowances currently. There is also an armed forces equivalent, which is the Armed Forces Independence Payment or the Armed Forces Mobility Supplement. And they are the sort of four main allowances that give you access to the scheme.
Okay, so if you're in receipt of one of those allowances, then you can then qualify for a vehicle on the Motability Scheme itself.
Yeah, certainly. And if anybody watching today is unsure whether they actually have the correct allowances, they can actually go to the Motability website, which is motability.co.uk, and we have our eligibility checker, and they can fill in a couple of questions there, and it will clarify for them whether they do qualify to make an application to join the scheme.
Okay, well, thanks for that. And Scott, I'm sure that if there are any people out there that need some support with that, you'd be more than willing to facilitate that part of the process for them, would you?
I'd be more than happy, Claire. Yeah, more than happy to
great
do
stuff.
that.
I thought you'd say that.
Well, it is a thing. I think a lot of customers, and this is the point of doing this awareness building piece today, is that there are customers out there that receive the right allowances, but don't realise they qualify for such a fantastic opportunity to lease a car with this level of support with it.
Yeah, you're right, Chris, actually, because we do get people that are slightly confused when we start to talk to them if they've made an inquiry into the dealership. And I think that's where, Scott, your expertise comes in, doesn't it? Because you can guide them along that process, whether they actually use one of our products in the end on the Motability Scheme is here nor there, really. I mean, we are able to offer impartial advice as well. So
exactly, yeah. We're here to promote the scheme.
Sorry, Scott?
We're here to promote the scheme.
Yeah, that's right, and help people on their journey.
Yeah.
So if I qualify under one of those 4 key payments, and I decide to use that payment, one of those payments, for a Motability vehicle, what does the scheme then include, please, Chris?
Okay, so this goes back to what I'm saying about an all-encompassing package. So obviously we start with the base piece, which is the car itself, and there is an extensive list of vehicles available to choose from on the Motability Scheme across several manufacturers and derivatives of their cars. And then included with that package, then, to start with, there is a fully comprehensive insurance package for up to 3 drivers. Then we follow on to that with a full maintenance and servicing package included. There is a tyre and windscreen cover system. The tyres are covered by Quick Fit, and we have a full team there that will take care of any tyre needs you have, and a group of experts there. We have auto glass covering our windscreens, again, all taken care of for you. The insurance is covered by Royal Sun Alliance, just to cover that, and they have a dedicated team there that just deal with Motability. And then also we have a full roadside assistance package provided by the RAC, and that's fully comprehensive. And again, they've got a dedicated team there from the RAC that are just dealing with Motability customers, and they understand that we have more specific needs. And actually, at the times that I've even had to call them, they come to me so quickly, and they're so accommodating, and they make sure you're safe and well, and really are dealt with as quickly as possible. So that's fantastic. And the other parts of the sort of, I think, unique elements of it is because with a lot of leasing schemes with vehicles, you get very low mileage allowances, but with Motability, you get up to 20,000 miles a year over the 3 years that you have the car. So 60,000 miles over the 3 years, which is fairly unique, because normally a lot of leasing packages have very low mileage requirements. So again, we are unique in what we offer there. So a very comprehensive package, and worry-free motoring is what we're really going for. It's what's most important to us.
So it really does cover all of your motoring needs in that sense. I mean, it's a 3-year contract. It's 20,000 miles per annum. So if I get a puncture, if I'm in a Motability vehicle and I get a puncture, what do I do? Do I contact Quick Fit as an example? Is it that easy, and they will take over from there?
They will take care of everything for you. You'll speak directly to Quick Fit, and if it's roadside, then if you're at the roadside, then if you have a puncture at the roadside, then the RAC will step in first of all. They'll come and meet you, and if they can't repair or change the wheel for you at that point, this has actually happened to me with pre-lockdown, with the potholes and things that are on the road. I hit a pothole in my car, and actually it took out a front and rear tire for me. So what actually happened, the RAC came out to me, they took those wheels off my car, and they then took those to the nearest Quick Fit, had had them repaired for me by Quick Fit, brought them back and fitted them to my car while I waited. So it was fantastic. You know, okay, it was a bit of time waiting in my car for me, but that was in a comfortable environment that worked for me, and they were very supportive. So it really worked in that respect. So that's really the RAC would be the first point with a puncher. But if it's a wear and tear issue, then, for example, you can have Quick Fit either come out to you at home or at work, and they would change a tyre for you. And we have a tyre line dedicated for that. Or you can simply just drive into any Quick Fit, let them know you're a Motability customer, and they'll take care of that need for you at no cost to yourself.
Yeah, I know that's quite a lot of detail, but these are the things that these are the type of common questions that people do ask, particularly, you know, Scott, I hear them in the showrooms asking, well, you know, how difficult is it once I'm in the scheme to get the, you know, the things that I need, like a cracked windscreen replaced or a new tyre fitted. I have heard also from customers that the Quick Fit service is exceptional as well. So that's really great. So obviously some people on these, you know, on these payments, Chris, you know, that you mentioned some people might be on a disability allowance as an example, as opposed to PIPs or the other two in terms of the armed forces. And some people in that category may need some changes making to their vehicle if they have specific requirements. And I'll just use an example. It may be that they need to get a wheelchair in the boot, or they may have some difficulties holding a steering wheel and they need some changes making. And I think the word in the Motability scheme is called adaptations. Can you just talk us through adaptations to give people a bit more understanding that we really can bespoke quite a lot of their needs and wants if they're on the Motability scheme?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we have a fully managed adaptations service through the scheme where actually what we do is subsidize the cost of those adaptations and work directly with the manufacturers and the fitters to give a comprehensive service. So if you are completely new to the scheme, and even if you're not sure whether you may or may not need any particular aid to help you drive or get in and out of the car or anything like that, we can even pay for a driving assessment to be done, where you get impartial advice as to what products may help you. And again, going in to talk to Scott when you go in and talk to your Motability specialist, if you're in that situation, they would again advise you just to call us and we would arrange that appointment. But equally, if you go in and you know what you need, then somebody like Scott can literally process your order and select those adaptations so that they can be fitted to the car for you at either a no cost to yourself or a lowered rate of cost when you actually place the order of the car. I mean, I myself, I use what's called a push-pull hand control system because I don't have control of my legs. So that allows me to control an automatic vehicle with my hands, you know, safely and securely using a steering ball and a hand control system. And a lot of people use that as one of the more common ones, and that is at a nil cost to customers. You just request that at the time of ordering your vehicle. So I mean, that's one extreme of adaptations, and then we can go right up to the other end where you get very complex solutions with somebody with, say, who needs permanent light and steering. They may need a specialized seat to help them get in and out of the vehicle. And a lot of people may well have seen like something like what's called a chair topper, where that lifts the chair from the floor up to the roof of the vehicle, for example. So there's lots of options out there. I think the best way to sort of say to anybody that's considering this and watching it maybe for the first time and thinking, I don't really know where to go, we can help with that assessment, but really don't be intimidated by all these products. We're here to help. Scott knows how the scheme works for him and ordering the car and getting that in the right place for you. But any sort of bespoke advice you need, call us and we'll get you in front of the right people to help you make that decision. So don't worry about that at all.
We do manage that process, Claire. We manage that process from start to finish, which means the customer picks up their brand new car from us with all the adaptations already in place.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what you said though, Chris, because you don't, sometimes when you're new to a scheme or new to something, you don't know what you don't know. It's like being in a new job. You don't know until people tell you what's available or what you need to know. So I think to have that driving assessment is a fantastic way to move forward. Well, I'm going to come to you now, Scott. One of the things that confuses me when I look at Motability information is that you often see something called an AP, some sort of payment, and then there's a monthly payment that follows that. Can you explain to me, what does AP mean and how does it fit in with your monthly payment, if it does or not? But I'm just a bit confused by that myself.
Yeah, an advance payment reflects the actual cost of the vehicle. In other words, generally speaking, given a range of cars, the higher up the model range the car is, then the higher the advance payment will be for that vehicle. So, for example, a customer generally would make more of an advance payment for an automatic car than a manual one. So it reflects the additional cost of the car over and above what the allowance that the customer signs over contributes. So that's how an advance payment works. Motability do offer a grant system which customers can make applications. In other words, if they wanted a vehicle which carried a higher advance payment that they could manage, they can actually ask Motability for a grant for that vehicle, and grants are often awarded to cover adaptations as well. So that's how an advance payment works on a vehicle.
Okay, but not every vehicle has an advance payment.
No, indeed.
Some of them are zero.
There's a good range of vehicles that do not carry an advance payment. In fact, there's a smaller range than that, which has a fixed amount taken from the allowance and actually gives the customer a little bit back per week.
Okay, yeah, because not everybody can afford the advance payment, I'm assuming. So
Indeed,
there are options available with or without.
Yes.
Very much, yes, very much. I mean, it's the way we kind of look at it is we'll look at the value of the vehicle, if you like, and what that costs with the package for that 3 years, and we look at what the allowance covers, and if there's any shortfall that the allowance doesn't cover, that's what the advance payment is, which is why you may see them on one quarter be at a certain level, and then the next quarter might be higher or lower, and it really does depend on the residual value of the vehicle and what the negotiations are with the manufacturers at the time. And we're always trying to make that as cost effective as possible, but we also want to give as much choice as possible, which is why we give such a varying scale on advance payments, because we know that customers want to have just as much choice as a retail customer.
Okay, thank you. So why is it important, Chris, this is one for you because I really want an impartial answer on this, but why is it important for customers to contact their franchised local car dealership or a franchise car dealership that's got Motability accreditation?
Okay, well, us at Motability, we accept that we are not car experts. We are the experts of the scheme and looking after our customers and maintaining the day-to-day running of the scheme, but we acknowledge that dealers, manufacturers work together to provide the product, and they know their product and they know it really well. And you have fantastic specialists like Scott that know their product inside out and back to front. So really what we're saying is when you make an appointment and go and see somebody like Scott, you're getting that experience of the product, experience of the scheme, and the customer gets the best experience. So that's really what we're about. So when we're saying about accreditation and training that every specialist goes through with us, they know how the scheme works, how our expectations are to look after those customers, and we want to make sure that the customer gets the best experience. So coming in to see you guys at your dealership, the customer then is treated just the same way as they would be any other retail customer, and they can come in with confidence that they are going to be given the right information, they know where they are, and most important, they can see the product, arrange to look around it and have a test drive when we're back in the normal world. I have to say, I know we can't do that at the moment, but it's about confidence to customers. I think the most sort of empowering statement that I kind of sum things up is that different to how Motability Operations work is different to like a standard leasing company, if you like, where when they're leasing a car, the car is the asset. To us, the customer is the asset. The vehicle is their needs and what they need on a day-to-day basis, and it's about meeting that need for that customer. Our customer is our asset, and their needs are paramount, and that's where we work with yourselves and do things like this today, for example, to get that word out there and to know that the customers can come and see you with full support of us to get the best experience possible with the best value and get access to some of the best products on the road today.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's, you know, Scott's got the Motability experience. He's also got the product knowledge as well. I think from a business point of view for Ringways, we've been around for over 70 years. So, you know, we are very well known in our local areas. You know, our company values are that, you know, are to do with respect and trust. And I think that's even more important when you've got somebody going through the Motability Scheme, to be able to empathise with them and show them that respect and that they trust you and you understand their needs and wants. Obviously, we've got experts and trained staff, Motability specifically trained staff like Scott. As you say, we very much understand the process. You know, we do aim to help as much as possible, even if it's not a particular product that we do. Scott is quite happy to offer impartial advice.
Indeed.
Well, guys, thanks very much. I think you've really helped me this morning. We have had a couple of questions. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm just going to ask very quickly these two or three questions.
Okay.
The first question we've had in from a social media platform from a gentleman was, I'm over 65, am I still eligible?
It depends whether he's already in receipt of the allowance or not. The way the disability living allowance or personal independence payment works is if they're in place before the age of 65, they can then carry on after 65. But if you're applying for the first time to the allowance after 65, it actually becomes what's called attendance allowance. And unfortunately, currently, we're not allowed to use that for the scheme. So it depends whether that gentleman has already got disability living allowance in place or personal independence payment. If he has already before his 65th birthday, then he's quite happy to join the scheme and we'd welcome him. And we've got lots of customers on the scheme well over 65.
Okay, thank you, Chris. One for you then, Scott.
Okay.
Can I trade in my old car is a question from one of our members on the social media platform.
Yes, indeed. If a customer comes in with a vehicle of their own, we will look at that for them and value it. Sometimes say to customers, we tend to offer trade valuations for cars, so it may be that they want to not dispose of the car, but get rid of the car in a different manner. But we certainly do offer that service. We will value a car for a customer, and we do deal with part exchanges, which can be offset against the advance payment.
So the best thing to do is to bring the car in and get it fully and professionally appraised, so we can get them the best possible price for their car.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, okay. And the final question, gentlemen, is does your credit history affect your eligibility for the scheme?
Not in any way whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Okay, well that seems pretty straightforward. Well,
yeah.
Guys, I'm going to wrap it up there just because I think we've spent quite a lot of time on this morning's event. I just want to say thanks very much to the two of you for helping us and joining us this morning. I do hope that the audience have found it informative. Apologies once again for that initial delay, but I think what we've shared with people and what we can share on this digital platform is amazing, really, when you think all the information that we've gone through. And I just want to say to the people that are watching this video, first of all, if you have any questions or you need any help, please do contact us. Our telephone number is 0345 415 0415. If you speak to our receptionist, Mandy, lovely lady, she will put you through to Scott. If it's not Scott, then she'll put you through to another Motability expert who will aim to answer all of your questions. You can, of course, visit our website, which is ringways.co.uk, and you can live chat us. We have that live chat available during business hours. A lot of people are working remotely, but it will be answered definitely between 8 in the morning and 8 at night anyway. Or you can complete a request contact form and select Motability, and we'll make sure that Scott contacts you as soon as possible. We are currently open for business as usual with regards to parts, service, MOT and repairs. So whether you're a retail customer or a Motability customer, those parts of this business are still open. They're classed as essential under the government guidelines under transport. So we are able to service an MOT and repair your car. We obviously are still open for business to help you. So if you do need some help in terms of a Motability application or a Motability renewal, then we are still able to help you, albeit that we can't actually welcome you into the showroom itself. The business is open remotely. So please don't sit at home, being worried or anxious about anything. Just pick up the phone and we are there to help. We want to say thanks to everyone this morning, and we will post, as I said, this event to the page. And please do share it with your friends and family and your carers, who I'm sure have got lots of questions that they have as well. If you have a carer and you get the payments that we mentioned earlier. So this is the new world of digital, and I guess we'll be doing a few more of these. And Chris, really want to say thanks very much for your time. We'd love to welcome you back and maybe touch base with you again in a couple of months. And Scott, thank you for your time today. You do a brilliant job for Ringways. We are so proud to have you on our team. And we know that your Motability customers absolutely love you and trust you 100%. So I just want to say thank you to you, Scott, as well, for all the work you do for us.
Thank you, Claire.
And on that note, guys, I'm going to go and have my cup of tea now that's gone cold and my mid-morning biscuit. Thanks very much for your time. It's been brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Claire.
really good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Chris.
Thank you.